and sees me all the time trying to bond with him. Recently, I got him to talk to me about houses because we were talking about my job. He mentioned this house that he calls his dream house and mentions how he tried buying it once, but couldn't because it was too expensive. I recognized the street and the house he was referring to because it was part of the houses that I had developed a couple of years ago. During the conversation, he asked me how I'm going to support her daughter. He told me that he sees me more than her daughter and asked if I'm even working. I told him that I'm doing well with my job and that I can definitely prove that I can support his daughter. He looked at me and told me that he was just going to be honest and told me that he believes that I should let my daughter go. He told me that I was a good man, but I just wasn't the best fit for his daughter. I just imagined my daughter dating someone else, he said. I looked at him and said, "Like who?" That's when I found out that he had a friend who owned a mechanic shop that had a son, and I guess they both made a promise to try to play matchmaking, and his father approved of it because that meant that his daughter would get married into the business. My heart sank. I spent the last couple of months trying to get this man to like me, but it felt like nothing was working. I told him that I wasn't going to leave his daughter, and that I would treat her daughter way better than his friend's son could. He laughed while he continued going back to work and told me that his daughter makes more than me and that his friend's son could triple both of our incomes combined. I looked at him and asked him how he would know if his daughter was making more than me. He told me that it doesn't take a genius to tell that a lawyer will make more than a real estate agent. I didn't want to argue with him anymore, so I told him that I had to go and pretended that I had somewhere to go. That day, I ended up contacting the owner and tried acquiring the house. The owner wasn't interested in selling their house at first, but everything always has a price when it's right. The owner was a hard man to negotiate with, and I'm sure I lost the deal, but I honestly didn't care much. Throughout the past 3-4 months, I've had to deal with paperwork, inspection, and the whole process of buying the house. I stopped visiting my in-laws and stayed in contact with my mother-in-law. I would usually call her and check up on her, and she would always tell me to come visit her. She asked me if my father-in-law was the reason why I stopped coming, and I laughed and told her that I was just working more. During this time, my father-in-law has tried hinting to my wife about his friend's son, and my wife always shut down the idea and always told him that she's married and to respect it. You can now check if there's a part 2 by clicking share and more.